Let's turn our attention to one of the main issues that's actually trending this morning, and that's the decision by the Monetary Policy Committee to leave rates unchanged. Let's take you back to the decisions that were reached yesterday. Of course, the MPR, which is the monetary policy rate, was retained at 11%. The cash reserve requirement for private and public sector deposits was left at 20%. And the liquidity reserve requirement was maintained at 30%. And the asymmetric corridor of plus 200 basis points and minus 700 basis points was retained around the MPR. Let's talk to Bismarck Rwani, who's an economist and the managing director of financial derivatives company, to get his thoughts on these decisions and its implication for the economy and, of course, the common man on the street. Good morning to you, Mr. Rwani. Thank you for joining me on the program.
Yeah, good morning, Harriet.
So it's great for us to sit down again and talk about this, especially since it's conversations that we've had over and over again. So this meeting was the most anticipated meeting, for the MPC, and the decisions taken were kind of in line with markets sentiments, market operators analysis, and the rest of it. So what's next? Now that we know that the central bank or the MPC has taken the stance, what's next for the economy?
First of all, what did the MPC do? The MPC left things unchanged. And what were the expectations of the people? People wanted to know, what is the price at which I will get my dollars, and will it be available when I want it? That was not addressed. Like you said when you opened up this program, you said the market wanted consistency, wanted clarity, and wanted credibility. So the Central Bank of Nigeria is coming in at a time when, one, the budget is for the National Assembly. So we do not know what the fiscal spending is going to be in totality, because the National Assembly has to approve that. It's coming at a time when oil prices are under pressure, below 30. Coming at a time when the reserves have been depleted. Coming at a time when commodities, global commodities are under pressure, and there's some mixed signals coming out of China, Europe, and the United States. So there's uncertainty in the global environment. Definitely there's pressure on the oil price. And Nigeria's revenue, which was coming in at about $3.5 billion a month, is down to $900 million a month. Therefore, the monetary aggregates have also shifted. In other words, Nigeria is earning less than a third of what it was earning 3 months ago. How do you actually allocate this money towards the needs of the Nigerian public? Are you going to allocate it by rationing, or are you going to allow the market forces determine this? The argument put out there is that if you adjust the currency, and I don't want to use the word devaluation because there's a phobia for that word in the Nigerian public. So if you adjust the currency, our exports will not increase because we export oil, and oil is denominated in dollars. So it will not have any impact on the supply of dollars. So if your exports are not exchange rate sensitive, then your imports will be. Therefore, you can use the adjustment to actually affect the demand pattern for your imports. By reducing, when the price of the commodity increases, the quantity demanded will reduce. So if I was importing a Mercedes-Benz car when it was 200 to 1, if it becomes 250 to 1, I'll have to look for a car, but I may not buy the Mercedes-Benz, but it will alter my demand profile. If that happens across the entire nation, you'll find that we will demand less, and our import bill will come down. 1. 2, we will automatically begin to look for local substitutes to some of the imports, not all of them. But over time, you'll find that the economy adjusts, and therefore, the economy is in a better place. But at this point in time, what the central bank has announced is that we are looking at, avoided the issue altogether, but did state that a foreign exchange policy is being formulated, which will address all of these needs. The only problem is that we don't have time. The foreign exchange policy and its implementation may take 1 month, 2 months, we don't know. But the problem the Nigerian consumer is facing is that on today, Wednesday, a man wants to buy goods, a man wants to pay school bills, a man wants to do this. at what price am I going to, and will it be available? If I go to my bank, will I get a foreign exchange? You can pay your dollars into your DOM account. There's some uncertainty surrounding the foreign exchange market in Nigeria. There's no clarity, and that is what has not been addressed.
Okay, so it now seems that that was the expected scenario, that
Yes.
that should be addressed as with regards whether we're going to see a readjustment or devaluation in the currency.
Or
But
change
that
the market structure.
Or changing the market structure. So right now, at the interbank foreign exchange market, we see the naira selling to the dollar at 199, almost 200.
Yes.
At the parallel market, black market, you're buying the naira at
Dollar 305.
300 to 305. So you already have a gap, a very wide gap of 105. Is it that the Central Bank of Nigeria has decided to do nothing about this and allow the market to determine how much the currency will be priced for?
No. The central bank is studying and looking, you see what you have a broad solution. The central bank is studying all of the ramifications before it takes a step. Because don't forget, there are reserves, there are all sorts of issues. If the central bank was to change the market structure automatically, and then tomorrow the budget is passed, and you now want to pay $1 billion for a rail development project or something, immediately the pressure on the currency increases. So I think that the whole thing is to look for a global solution to the foreign exchange situation that we have. Unfortunately, we don't have time. So there has to be some short-term measures immediately to bring about market stability and transparency in the market. Right now, there's rationing taking place, and the rationing is not being done in an orderly manner. So the central bank will have to, and I can almost assure you that in the next couple of days, there'll be guidelines being issued to bring some clarity into the market, and they will do that consistently. The ritual of a monetary policy committee does not actually have to coincide with exchange rate policy. The monetary policy committee deals with interest rates, exchange rates, and inflation. The exchange rate is only one of the, what you call the holy trinity. The central bank is fully aware, it's independent and it's autonomous, and fully aware of its responsibilities, that a market where there's such a wide divergence between the official and the unofficial rate is not, it leads to distortion of allocation of resources.
Just like you called it a currency misalignment.
There's a misalignment.
I wish we could have those particular graphs on so that the viewers can see what it is that we're actually talking about. There you have it. Yes, a currency misalignment. We're seeing external reserves at about 28 million dollars, and that's pretty scary, especially since we know that the central bank is in very strong pursuit of real growth.
Yes.
Talked about encouraging more on lending to the real sector of the economy, but then how does that now tie into this decision that it's taken?
You see, there's the domestic economy, which needs to be competitive, and so you must lend. That is, the banks must lend to the real sector. But banks bank lending is a function of risk and liquidity. And the foreign exchange market is a different market. So yes, on one hand, that's good, an accommodative monetary policy to encourage lending, to make the economy long-run competitiveness. But the issue is on Wednesday, today, and tomorrow, people need to go into the foreign exchange market and buy foreign exchange to meet their needs. And they want to know at what price and whether it will be available. That has not been answered. So what is going to happen is that in the next few days, the central bank is going to come up with different policies and try to meet the demand as much as they can in the official market. But it will still leave that gap in the unofficial market. And so we are going to have some uncertainty for some period.